And hey, everybody, I am back. Charles McFall here with the Georgia Institute of EMS. This is the EMS Underground. And I did fire the show off at 2:30 about 10 minutes ago. And then found out and realized I forgot that living in an older house, this was built mid 70s, maybe early 70s, that you can't run an old heater in an old house with a bunch of computer gear because it'll trip the breaker. And that's what happened. And trying to stay cold in my cave, my studio cave that I have that I'm in is in a basement. That wall is definitely solid underground. Off to my side, I have a window, so it's not fully underground, but it's cold. And running my old, you know what? I'm going to show it to you. My old timey, burn your hands on the grill, keep it away from kids because it'll kill you kind of thing with the orange coils. And man, I remember as a kid, it stunk so bad too. You'd spray water on the coils just to see them and turn black, but of course it's burning. It stinks. It's bad. So so I'm in the middle of the broadcast and all of a sudden it went and the power cut off because I also have a big heater over on the wall that I haven't had much issue with my heaters this winter, so that was a little unusual, unexpected. I thought the whole house lost power for a moment, but it had not. So anyway, this is the EMS Underground, and I have got you here so I can take your comments. But it is the holiday season, as I was in the midst of saying, and it is easy to get caught up in all the negativity with the shopping and the pressure and the parties and the money and the everything else. But when we go into people's homes, when we deal with things, typically, honestly, I've not dealt with a whole lot of seasonal depression. I'm going to talk about the good things and my happy memories. But I want to say, when you walk in now, more than ever, I think it's more stressful for health issues to happen because people are stressed out about the holidays, right? They are stressed out that this is going on, that, and they've got to plan this work, and it's just a lot of stuff. So you add anything that constitutes triggering an ambulance, it's way worse than a normal day. And I know that's an odd phrase to use when it comes to, I keep looking down because that's where my phone is. That's where I'll get to see your comments and whatnot. So it is in EMS, there is a normal call, right? Somebody falls, they break their leg, break their hip. Heart attacks are always going to be stressful if the person's out cold, right? The big heart attack. Strokes are always going to be stressful. Car accidents vary, right? Car accident, that's a good one to use. Car accidents on a normal day, in a normal car accident, you get there, people are shook up, and you'll run the gamut of my neck, my back, my lawyer to obviously DOA and anywhere in between. Well, in a normal car accident, you're coming in and depending on the time of day, maybe it's not blocking a lot of traffic. Maybe it wasn't that violent. You can see people kind of out of their cars, walking around or maybe sitting there, and you come up and you're going to talk to them, right? And maybe they can kind of figure out if they're hurt or not, those kind of things. But you throw the holidays in on it, there's always traffic everywhere, and it's blocking something somewhere. More than likely, the stress of everything else is going to play right into this accident. So maybe you're not going to get the answers you need. Maybe you're stressed out because of everything else. It just adds so much to it. So I want to help you keep in mind, people are people. And this time of year is tough because people forget how to be people. It's something I don't fully understand, that somehow this is the magic time of year that makes you I want to use other words, but I've agreed not to. It makes you otherwise meaner and nastier than you normally would be. So I was hoping to have a friend on to share some of the favorite holiday memories that he might have with EMS and fire. I will share mine and kind of keep it short. I know people have finals that are coming up. If they haven't already taken them, you're getting ready to go home. If you're a college student, EMS students with the Georgia Institute of EMS, tomorrow is like the big test day, I believe, and wrapping that out for the holiday break. And then it's a week from Christmas. Next week I'll probably do a show again by myself. Tom might join me via Skype, but Tom still, he's really got a lot to take care of to finish out school before the break. That's why he's not here today. So I was raised up through EMS, through EMT school, to firefighter. Well, I'm not sure if the one was a firefighter. One was, I don't know, but they worked with fire departments. It didn't matter. What matters is that through my entire EMT school, I was taught, instead of calling something idiot proof, you got firefighter proof. And just a lot of these negative things about firefighters that were put on me. And I don't know why. And I never had a desire for fire anyway. Well, starting fires, maybe. Lighting things on fire, blowing things up. That's a lot of fun. Putting it out, risking my life, not my calling. Is for a different path of people. So I definitely ended up in more private services, working that way. I had to work with volunteer firefighters, some good, some really not. And ultimately did end up, even though I was in a private service, getting stationed at a fire station and being included in their group, being brought into their fold, even though I was not officially a part of their crew, changed the way I saw the world. And the first time we came up on the holidays together, it was for Christmas. And I remember we were going to have to work. I think it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day that year. I don't remember which. And we always had this thing at the fire station that we'd put in for lunch, right? We would, I think it came to about $8 to $10 a day. They made a menu and went and bought the food and then divided it up. So they said, plan on $10, but if it's less, actually, no, I take it back. What we did was we paid $10 a day, and what was left over, they would keep in a pot somewhere, a jar or envelope or whatever. And when it built up, once a month, every 6 weeks or so, we'd have a low country boil that we never had to pay for that day. We'd come in, they would tell us to shift before, hey, the money is built up. We're going to have a low country boil next week or next shift. So it's free eating day, and it's a great dinner, and it's amazing. And I can't remember how much, maybe we'd use our low country boil money for, I don't remember what, but the firefighters we had a turkey, we had all the fixings. I think we had our families and wives and different things help us with the food, bring stuff in, and they fried a turkey. And this is the first time I'd ever had a fried turkey, ever. And I didn't even know what to think of it. And they had spent just hours on hours marinating this thing and basting it and getting it ready. And my goodness. Being at that fire station and having to work on a holiday is tough, right? For me, I didn't care. I really didn't. Most of my paramedic years were spent kid-free. So it was just my wife and I. And we don't work, you don't get paid. I don't know. She and I just have a different mentality. Now, I am an entrepreneur now. I work for myself. And if I don't work, I don't get paid. But going into EMS, I never found it important for the date. I'd work on my birthday. Don't care. I'd work. And I'm going to put my phone right under here. Thank you for liking, and definitely share this thing. We need that. I got to take that down. So I got it pulled up. I will take any questions you have. It doesn't have to be holiday related. Any questions you have, I will answer them about being a paramedic, the history that I've had, any advice I can give on being in the field on the holidays, or whatever you got. Anything. Ask me anything. We'll get it taken care of. We'll throw it out to you. So, I've never been that guy who has to be there on Christmas morning. Now, like I said, I was kid free. Now, I've also taught my kids it's about being together. It's about the memory. My family, literally, like my wife, myself, my 4 children, have already done Christmas. We go to Stone Mountain Christmas. We call it Christmas Town. They call it Stone Mountain Christmas. And this is before they were calling it anything official. We've called it Christmas Town. We've been going since before my son was born. My firstborn son was born. He is now 11. So we've been going at least 13 years, my wife and I. And Jeremy Payne, preparing for the National Registry. Let me stop my story and give you a piece of advice, Jeremy. Get to the point where you start to stress and then stop. Okay? Break up your study sessions and understand it's sunk in. It's in there. You have to trust yourself. Now, if you haven't worked that hard throughout the class, you haven't studied that hard throughout the class, maybe you put in a little bit more effort. But I got to tell you, golly, man, I remember both of my registries. And I remember stressing so much over the EMT registry. And at the time, this was 1996. And we had gotten a hold of, I don't remember if we ordered it, how we got a hold of it. We got a hold of a study disc. I think it was a 3.5 disc, maybe even. It could have been a CD, but I'm pretty sure it was a series of actual discs. And I put it was practice tests for the National Registry, right? And so that's all I ever did was I do the practice test, go through, see what I missed. That's my style. If I can take a practice test, see what I missed, and focus on the areas that I'm weak in, that helped a lot. Well, it turned out some of the exact questions that are on the practice test were on the real test. So that helped a lot. But been out of class for over a year now and have taken it 3 times. Have to take a minute, not a good test taker. That is a problem because you good point, Jeremy. He says he's not a good test taker. That's the key. These tests, I don't know how Tom says it in class or any of the instructors. My instructors said it doesn't matter as long as you pass. You could pass, I think 70 was passing then for the registry, 70 above. You could pass with a 70. You could pass with 100. You're still a paramedic or an EMT, EMTI, obviously classify yourself. And as long as you pass, but you do have to be a good test taker. It's not about necessarily knowing the medicine. I don't have a better solution. I really don't have a better solution for people to figure out if they qualify to get a certification or not. But I got to tell you, these registry questions, they are meant to bend you over. They're all wrong. All 4 answers are wrong. Which is the least wrong? All 4 answers are right. Which is the most right? It's like, seriously, man. And that's how it was when I took it. Perhaps they've changed it a little bit. Perhaps they've made it better. But there's some keys to taking a test that is very hard to prepare for. I'm going to tell you, Jeremy, just study. And see, it's not about the knowledge necessarily. Just study what you can, have it in your brain, and then relax and understand you've got this. Understand you know what you know. And when you go into the test, it's your it's your female dog, because I can't swear on this show. But it is, here's the thing. You go in and go, okay, slow down. That's key, because you're going to be amped up. You're going to be nervous. I always was. But this is the key to actually walking on a scene. This is the key to when, and I've had this happen, when somebody is having a heart attack, almost down on the floor, and family is screaming at the top of their lungs. I mean, they will stress you. And when I do the hands, I'm talking about the running circles around you. The key to walking in and controlling the situation and being calm is understand it's not your problem. The test is not your problem, man. Understand what you need to do is beat it. You need to eliminate the crap, mostly in here, but eliminate the crap to get you through it. And by that, I mean, on the heart attack call, I had to ask family members. I said, I can't hear. I can't help. You have to go. Get them out of here. And I was probably pretty rude about it, but I was like, go. Get them away from me. Running is never a good thing. Screaming when I'm trying to have a blood pressure or hear heart rhythm or whatever is never a good thing. Or hear breath sounds from tubing, yeah. And you just come in and understand, you break it down by the numbers. A, B, C. Are they breathing? Is there an airway occlusion? Nope. Are they breathing? Nope. Tube them. All right. You do. A lot of it happens at once, but do chest compressions, circulation, those kind of things. That's the key to keeping calm, because that's what people need. And when you go into this test, you're going to feel alone, because I don't know if you're taking it with other people or not, but you're going to feel alone whether you're taking it with others or not. And it's you against the computer. I think that you do those on computer now. And you just have to stop and go, what's this question? What is the question really asking me? And if you have scrap paper, kind of jot down what you think it's asking. Because it'll phrase, Bobby has this blood pressure. It'll throw so much info at you. What's the question? Because once you find out the question, then you can eliminate, I don't need the blood pressure to answer this question. That's the screaming sister. I don't need to worry about airway because it says this many breaths per minute. Crash that out. Get it down to what you need and then tackle the question. And know that it's not about your knowledge. Your knowledge is what you know. I don't believe I've met you personally yet. I don't do a whole lot in the physical school itself, other than we do the show once a week typically. But I can tell you tests aren't about what you know necessarily. Now, yes, obviously there's a level of knowledge that has to be had to pass a test. But if that was a key, anybody who goes through class and studies can pass a test, and not everybody can pass a test. So it's not about your knowledge at this point, 50-50. It's about going in and assessing the situation, and that's what you're doing. Yeah, here's a great one for you. Jail. Going into the jail. People, I'm going to adjust this just a touch right here. Yeah, I like that. All right, so you get called to a jail for chest pains. Well, you got a lot of factors going in, right? You got somebody that want to be in jail. They have been arrested already. Maybe they are having chest pains. Maybe they got stabbed in the side and don't want to say that, so they're saying chest pains. You've got a lot of factors going into it. So you really have to just eliminate. Just eliminate. And what's left over tends to be the answer. On my EMS exam, on one of my exams, I don't remember if it's EMS or paramedic, but I remember it saying, Bobby has, he fell into a pool and this and this and this. And I answered that question, and you go down to the next one. And it says Bobby, and it gives you almost the same scenario, but asks a slightly different question. But there were also sections that said these next questions are based off of this. And that's where test taking skills helped me out, was airway every time. A, B, C. It will try to trick you. Airway every single time, unless it gives you clear indication the airway is open, or that, okay, here's the scenario, and these next 5 questions relate to that one scenario. That's the tricky part, because they will throw in some things that seem very, very close to each other as far as the questions being asked, and it'll make you maybe think, well, is this the same patient? If it doesn't clearly state this is that patient, this is a scenario, moving on, airway, 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 airway. That's what it's all about. So I hope you get past the test tomorrow. I hope you do well on that. Find, if you can, I don't know what you've been doing to study, but it always helps to find a group the night before to study together, to ask each other questions. It takes the stress off, right? Maybe you drink a little, or drink some coffee, or you get a little social in there, which helps you de-stress. You'll actually remember more if you're having fun and laughing with other people. And it's a camaraderie factor. Now, of course, you got to take take the test yourself. I mean, they can't help you, but learning that way, finding a group. When I did my paramedic, I did it on my own. The test and the studying. I had this female friend of mine who helped me study some, but I failed the test. But the second time, there was a few of us who had not passed, who had failed the paramedic registry the first time, and a few who had passed that were married or dating or whatever. So all of us got together for coffee and beer and basically hung out for 2 or 3 hours and just had a good time, but bouncing the questions and discussing the answers. And then we all passed it. In fact, it was a very stressful situation the next morning, because we all went to the testing center and the instructor was 2 hours late. Something had happened. There was some wreck somewhere. Maybe he got stuck behind. I don't remember exactly what happened. But the official proctor He was like 2 to 3 hours late. And so we did sit around and spitball the questions, but we all decided, you know what? We're here. Why stress about it? We watched Emergency, the old TV show Emergency, for 2 hours while we just goofed off and waited. And I got to tell you, it took so much stress out of the test doing that. What's up, Georgia Institute of EMS? Your cell phone rates. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you never can read into the question. Ever. If it's not in print, it's not there. Period. Now, there are clues, right? It might point you to a direction, but you're given what's in print. Go with that. Thoughts on overthinking a question in the, well, if I only knew this, but you don't. If it's not given, you got to go with what you got. You got to not care. It's a weird thing to say, but it's the truth. You don't have a dog in this fight. You have to not care. You have to go in and go, here's a scenario. Bam, 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 bam. And be cold and clinical and go, okay, with that blood pressure, with that complaint, and that heart rate, it's fibromyalgia. I don't know. You can't diagnose fibromyalgia in this field, I know. But, it's whatever. And that's it. I mean, it's you are tackling the problem. And unlike people, problems don't lie. And I mean problems, the questions on the test. That's what you're tackling. So I'm going to tell a quick holiday story, as you might have some more questions or anything else going on. But it is fun to reminisce about taking the registry. I got to tell you, though, that having that practice test, this is, again, 1996. Things weren't done on computer. They were generated by computers, but they were written tests. And having that practice test where there was 4 or 5 different ones I went through, and they were 60 to 80 questions long, or maybe 100 questions long. They're a long test. Well, it was for me. It was a long 80 to 100 questions. But now I think the computer cuts you off either if you've got enough to pass, period, or if you've got enough to fail, missed enough to fail, it'll cut you off. I think those are the 2 cutoffs. So doing those practice tests, though, it took the unknown out of it. Well, you've done it 3 times, so the unknown is gone. You already know the experience. That's the thing. You already know the experience. You know you're going in. You know you're going to sit down at a computer. You know you're probably going to be a little cold because they keep those rooms cold. And you know you're just going to have to read the question and take it one step at a time. That's what you know. And that helped with my practice test doing that. And then having the actual questions on the test really, really helped. Because I've got one of those memories, especially when I was, how old was I? I was 18, 19 at the time when I took the test, the EMT registry. And I had a steel trap mind, man. If I read it, I don't have photographic memory. It's not like that where I could just see the words. But I have this very close to it then where as I studied and burned it into my head, if you gave me the exact same question, I go, I know this question. It's C. Yep, C right there. Boom, done. But you just go slow. Hey, Wesley Sparks. But go slow. Go slow. Because that's the key to scene safety as well. I was going to tell a holiday story, and I will, but I'm still stuck on this taking the test thing. You will go in and you'll amp yourself up and you'll get all in your head and you'll get nervous. And I didn't sleep well last night. It doesn't matter. This is one thing you have to not care. The sun also rises. I mean, that's it. The sun also rises. And you're not going to even know. Tom, I think that's Tom, because Tom and his wife both run the Georgia Institute of EMS. So I'm saying that's Tom. But yeah, I do remember. We had to wait. That was the other thing. We took the test on paper in a room full of our compatriots, more or less. And 3 to 4 hours we had. And there on the EMT, there's 2 tests, actually. I remember that. They had the basic and intermediate, because Georgia only recognized EMT intermediate at the time. But I actually had to take 2 tests for EMT. And so I did a 40 to 50 question basic test and had 2 hours to finish that. And you got it done whenever time you got it done. And I was able to go back and look at my answers or review my work and then turn it in and then hang out outside until everybody's done. Yay, stop. Until everybody's done. And then then you go back in for another 2 hours and take a second test. And 80 questions. There's more on the second one. And it covers a lot of stuff you covered on the other one, so you'll get yourself confused. My point is, the sun also rises. Just take a breath. Make sure you get good sleep tonight. Stop caring. Stop. That's the best you can do. Is who cares? Do you pass? Do you fail? Who cares? Tomorrow's a new day. The next day is a new day. You'll figure out the plan then. Because if you can do that, if you can remove that, make yourself a little more clinical, it's just like scene safety. If you walk up on somebody and go, oh my God, they're dead. Oh my God. Right? You're going to chill out. But the reason we can be detached is it's just a skill that's developed is while truly as a human being, I care for other human beings. I wouldn't have been a paramedic if I didn't. I wouldn't have come to help you if I didn't actually truly care. But caring, worrying that, oh, this is a human being and I gotta save a life, it's gonna mess you up. Same with the test. If all you're focused on is passing or failing, yeah, it's gonna mess you up. But if you go and go, okay, I'm just gonna take this test. Here's question number one. I want to say, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, you get 3 hours to do this thing, maybe a little bit more. If you just take it answer by answer, some go faster, some go slower, but you probably have on average 5 minutes per question, give or take, something like that. And they don't need to look at the clock in the top corner. Yeah, no, who cares? Who cares about the clock, man? One of my brands, or actually my main brand, and we don't use it here very much, but my main brand is called The Rock God of Podcasting. And it's this imagery of metal and rock and but that's my thing. I never rush anywhere. I'm usually not late. I'm usually on time or early. But my thing is, what took the stress out of all of that, of missing my alarm or getting, I was like, I'll get there when I get there. You ain't going to do it without me. And this test won't finish without you. This test won't pass without you. So take your time on the 150 minutes. That's 2.5 hours. Yeah. Give or take. So you get the question, make sure you understand the question that's being asked, because they will get you. They will throw in, Bobby has a blood pressure of 90/60. Yeah, I know it's low. He's got a blood sugar of 45. He's pale, all this. And what they're going to ask you is, where's his foot? Because he was in an accident and is, it's like all this misleading information that you can actually get on a scene. You can get all the observation and all the numbers and all the things you plug in and check off those check boxes. But what's the reality? The reality is his foot was severed and he's bleeding out. You don't need to worry about the blood pressure. You don't need to worry about the blood sugar. You probably shouldn't have even done a blood sugar. What you need to worry about is stopping that bleeding. And it'll misguide you. Misguide is not the word I'm looking for, but it'll throw in stuff you don't need and you'll get caught up in it. So, I think Tom's giving me a link that's on my phone, so I'm not going to click it. But it might be for me. It might be for everybody. But check out that National Register EMT. It's got a public document thing there going on for tests and questions. So, yeah, it's your world. You rule it. And focus on the positive. If you got to focus on something, focus on, what's the worst case scenario that you fail this one? You do it again. You choose a different profession. You do something different with the skills you've learned. You still breathe. You're still living. You still got holidays coming up. Hopefully that's good for you. You still got Tom. That's always good for you. Life goes on, man. It's what's the best possible scenario? You pass. And now what? Now you got to find a job. And now you got to actually start learning the real stuff in the real world, which the books and the training help. But now you get, now you got to do there. And yeah, just move forward. So holidays. So I was talking about, before I get off on this great tangent here, talking about my first holiday with the fire department as a private EMS service. And they had the fried turkey and the fixings and the family stuff was there. And my wife came up. My wife came up. Everybody else's spouses and families came up. And It was better than having to do it myself, like stay at home and have in-laws and those kind of things. It was TV moment, man. It was TV moment of just the family coming together, and it was the firefighters and myself and my partner and our true, our married families and those kind of things. It was amazing, and it was just a testament to what the community can hold, how you can do well together. I was starting to say how people get focused on a date. I can't tell you how many holidays I've volunteered for to work for people, because I do understand some people with children, they have chosen, that's everything in life. You choose your life. You choose your path. And if people have chosen to say, Christmas morning is a special morning and you got to get up. Well, it's stressful to be away from the kids on Christmas morning or your spouse because of that. So what I always chose to do, I talked with my wife and she was down with that. She was really cool. I was like, hey, we don't have children. We can do our Christmas anytime we want. I wouldn't mind volunteering to let people go who have that reality of, oh, it's stressful and I have to be there. Well, let me help you take some stress off your plate. I'll work the holiday. And I did many, 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 many years. When we had children, that's why I was saying too, during November, we go to Stone Mountain Christmas. That's our Christmas holiday. And it's amazing and it's memory filled. And it's just one of the great traditions that we have in my family. And it's in November. And this year we actually did it the Sunday before Thanksgiving. But that was Christmas to us, man. It was magical too, because the temperature dropped for that weekend. It got freezing cold. And we went out there, and it was amazing to have that Christmas feel, and everything just around you is Christmas. And it's not even Thanksgiving yet, but we don't care. The lights are gorgeous, and everything's great. And you do that. And yeah, double time was always a good thing, Tom. That's another reason why I volunteered. But my point is, we make it about the celebration of it and the memories of it. They may or may not remember it was in Thanksgiving that they went. What they will remember is Christmas Town. Christmas. What's your best Christmas memory? Oh, this one particular year we went to Christmas Town and this happened and that happened and this experience. And that's what's important. So I would volunteer to work for people to get that double time and to take the stress off of people, so that they could be with their families. And then I've always worked in places where my family could come see me, or if I'm in the area, I can go drive to them on the ambulance, those kind of things. But I get the other real fun holiday story I have is Christmas Eve. I'm working down in Jasper County, Lake Jackson area. And we get called to possible home childbirth. And my partner I'm 6'7", 350 pounds. Actually, I think then I was like 380 pounds. And now I'm 6'7", 340. And I actually got down to 310. And yeah, it didn't. I was bad. And came back up. So we called the childbirth. My partner is 5'8", 130 pounds, maybe. I mean, blazing opposites. And it's cold and wet. It had been raining. And it was cold enough to freeze a little bit on the ground. You know how you get ice. And it's Jasper County, so it was a dirt road. I mean, yes, they have some modernized stuff, but it's mostly dirt and stuff in Jasper County. So it was this mud hill, and we looked at it. Well, there's a little bit of ice. It's a little wet, but there's some rocks. So let's see. We started to pull the ambulance up, and the ambulance slid right back. It's like, nope, that's not going to work. And I had to do the whole duck waddle with my feet. So I told my partner, so, okay, you looks bad, Trevor. No, that's not what it was at all. So I said, you find a way to deal with the ambulance so we can get the stretcher to the patient as needed, and I'm going to go in and check on them. And it's this lady's, it was her second or third birth, live birth, and she'd had a C-section at one point and was having the back pain, the back labor pain. But they said it was something was said by a doctor somewhere that it's impossible to have this baby. It won't come out on its own. We're going to have to do this, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Not all things are impossible. And she was having back pain and had called her OBGYN. They said, oh, you're early. It's just Braxton Hicks. You have to have a C-section anyway, blah, blah, blah. So go lay down in the bath and, hot water and try to get your back to relax. And she gets in the bath and it didn't relax. It got worse. And within a few minutes, she birthed the baby. And we cut the cord for her. Everything. The baby was healthy. The mom's healthy. She's kind of laughing about it. But the fun part was, now this is Christmas Eve, right? And I'm happy because I try to bring joy into these situations anyway. I try to, number one, keep it neutral. That's the first goal, because most people with any kind of medical situation, ambulance, up here. So my goal is to get everybody neutral. Let's talk to me. Let's be calm. Let's come in with a calm, controlling demeanor, because I always control the Tom's not working on his work. Tom is not getting ready for big test day. He is putting Christmas trees in the chat. So, I control the situation. I'm always, well, of course I'm a big guy anyway, but I'm always, okay, this is how I want it to go. I would like to talk to each other as human beings, just like this. I need you to calm down. I need you to take breaths. And I need you to explain to me, so on and so forth. Well, she's in bed and she's got the baby and it's wrapped in a blanket, all like she came home from the hospital. I'm like, of course I walk in and go, well, looks like my job is done. See ya. And she just starts laughing. And it's just such a fun atmosphere, right? And I'm starting to trying to figure out why it's fun. I mean, obviously this wasn't expected, and I'm glad you're not panicking. Everything looks great. We are going to need to take you to the hospital, because it's always great to have a doctor look at a baby right after it's born, make sure everything's on par. And they probably should be in the hospital for a day or two before. I don't know. And so she's, yeah. She'd already gotten, she'd already passed the placenta out. And so she'd already gotten dressed, and we just cut the umbilical cord and that kind of thing. And we said, okay, so here's the deal. You've got, and she goes, yeah, that driveway is horrible. I understand. And I said, okay, well, if it's okay with you, I'm going to let you carry the baby, and I'm basically going to be your wall, and he's going to be behind you. And so you're not going to fall forward without hitting me, and that's fine. You can hit me and ride me down like a sled. And that sounded a lot dirtier than it meant. I meant it to be. And she laughed. And I said, or if you start to fall back, he's got you. You protect the baby. That's your job. She goes, okay. Because getting a stretcher up by herself, no firefighters came out. It's Christmas Eve. And it was a mess. So we get her in the back of the ambulance. And we're just right. I mean, there's nothing much for me to do. I mean, I did my APGAR score, and it was thumbs up, and she's fine. I did the blood. I did everything I could do. It's just give it a ride time. I told my partner, I said, you know what? You drive. Because he liked to drive anyway. I said, I'll sit back here, and it's fine. And I'm talking to her. So here's the thing. So this, like I said, this is her second or third childbirth. And yeah, Tom wants to see a patient ride me down a mud ice hill like a sled. So I'm in the back of the truck, and she goes, okay, so here's the story. They were hiding the pregnancy from her father. And I think her mom knew, and some other people knew. But they've been, of course, at wintertime, she's bulking up with sweaters and hiding it because it was going to be a Christmas Eve surprise. That night, they were supposed to have the big family Christmas Eve dinner hoodoo together. And they're going to be surprised, I'm pregnant. And he's going to be happy. It was a thing. And they're going to have fun with it. And it was a blast. So I'm like, well, I think that surprise has been ruined. And that's very fun that she was trying to do that, but everything was healthy. And it was just, I don't know, it's a great Christmas story. It's this kind of sappy BS you see on TV where the Christmas miracle happens. and this, and that, and the other. And it was it was a good story. So, hey, I'm still here. I can take a few more questions. I got a few more minutes. I know Tom is supposed to be busy handling, getting some rest and getting ready to shut the school down for Christmas break. I know there's a lot of things to wrap up there. So, but we talked about staying cheery for the holidays. And I can say it is what you make it. It is what you make it. A lot of people make it a negative thing. They get on the road more and things clutter up and they get angry. And right after Thanksgiving, I really started to see a pattern of people cutting me off, just zipping around me. But what I chose to do is I'm going to drive safely, defensively, just like with the test, the advice I gave on the test. I'm just going to step up and take what comes and try to see the reality in it and not the emotional baggage that we put on it. So am I going to get to my place on time? Yeah. I left a little early. Make sure I get to where I'm going on time. No problems. Am I going to hit traffic? Probably everywhere you go. I do a lot of stuff downtown Atlanta. I'm on I-20 a lot, 285, 85, all the roads. And then, of course, the interior roads. Right now, you're going to hit traffic any time of day, anywhere you go. And I like Tom says, the holidays can be great, but sometimes way too busy. But that is also what you make of it. Right now, my mother-in-law is having some health issues. She's in the hospital. My wife for the last week has been over at my mother-in-law's house taking care of business and helping out with things while my mother-in-law is in the hospital. I'm having to step up and take care of the kids. And on top of that, I ended up booking a whole lot of parties to host this week. And it's been really, really hectic. But we just take it one step at a time and you keep a smile on your face. It is what it is. And that's actually, I think that's untrue. It is what you make it. And if you go in and go, man, this is life. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. Then it is. If you sit, because my wife hasn't gotten all the Christmas presents for the kids that she wants. She has specific ones. And before the hospital stuff happened, it was, okay, we got this time and plan out life as normal. We'll figure it out. And now it's, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? How we swap places? How do we, this? What can I do? I can go out and host a party and get home at midnight and get in bed and get up at 6 a.m. to put my boys or actually I take one boy to school, another one rides the bus. But I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning to do that. And then I go about my day doing other things. And then I have to leave at lunch to go host a party, so on and so forth. Or like this, do the show. And then do it again. Because like I said, tomorrow the sun also rises. It's a thing. It happens. Life goes on. If we lose sight of that, if we lose sight of who we are in test taking, in the holidays, in running our EMS calls, if we lose sight of who we are, that's when everything goes to crap. Tom's actually watching. I can't say the bad words. So it's now I'm not hosting Tom's like, I didn't get it. I know he's joking. He's like, I didn't get an invite. No. I get hired out to go to somebody else's party and do the DJing and the announcing and the emceeing and the host. I'm the host of these parties, where somebody else is throwing these parties. I'm getting paid to be there. So, and they've been great. Actually, I just did one last night that was Hugh Spalding and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta ER party. They were great. They were such a fun crowd. They were really, really nice. I enjoyed that. So just to wrap it up here, definitely just keep in mind, you pick your path. You choose your happiness. You choose your anger. You choose your frustration. You choose your negativity or positivity. But you just do. I hate this analogy, but it's the one that popped in my brain. If a kid says, hey, the sky is green, do you get mad? Well, maybe there's a reason for that if you get mad. But typically, most people are like, oh, no, Timmy, stop chewing up the chalk and go away. Stop eating the glue, Timmy, and you'll be okay. So, but my point is there are definitely days I've gotten ill in this holiday season, especially when I got cut off and almost killed a couple times. And that's the thing, too. That's the show I want to talk about. When people go, well, I almost died. No, you really didn't. Did I almost get killed? No, I really didn't. I had a moment of emotional and physical panic of going, will my car stop? I don't know, because you just jumped in here when you shouldn't have. But that's really what it was a moment. But for the reality that I live in, it's we're making the best of what we can. I'm gonna step up and do everything I can to help my wife out, to take care of my family, and we're still gonna have a great time. I mean, Christmas is still a week and a half away, give or take. And if the same scenario is going on right now, then what's going on that day, so be it. It's life. Last year wasn't that way. Next year, who knows what it'll be like. So that's what you can take with you as a person who's about to take a test, as EMT students, as somebody on the truck, is go in and make it what you'd want it to be. Do your best, and, we move on. Next week, I will try to be back here. We might get Tom hopefully in on Skype and get that worked out to where we'll both be in our home studios, chilling out, getting ready. We'll be right on top of Christmas at that point. And then do this together. If not, we always take your questions, post them here on Facebook, email them. I keep forgetting the email, Tom. It's EMSunderground at georgiaemt.com. I think GAEMT.com. He might type it in. I know there's a delay on this. But we're going to come back strong in the new year. The EMS Underground, we're going to hit it strong in the new year when the school reopens, and we're going to have a more definitive path. And definitely, I love this. I love the idea of asking the questions. And so we're going to, on the new class that's starting, we're hopefully going to get me in there and do a show, essentially, with that class that started off, so they get the idea of this is how we interact. And this is one of the best ways to do it, because not only can you be here live and get that interaction, you can watch it, still ask your questions, and we'll pick it up on the next one. So I'm going to head out because I do actually have another party to host tonight. So I got to get ready to do that. Thanks for watching EMS Underground. If you want to know more about the school, Georgia Institute of EMS, check out this Facebook page, right? Georgia Institute of EMS. All the information is there. You've got the phone number. You can, you can email Tom at any point in time. Google it, Georgia Institute of EMS. We're all over the internet, and all the information is there. And if you'd like to see more of what I do, charlesmcfall.com is where you can find that. Thanks again for being a part of everything today, and we will catch you up next week.